All right, let me take a drink. Let me take a breath. All right, breathe in. And perfect. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, hello, welcome. Give me 3 more seconds. We'll just make sure my hello is good. There we go. Hello and welcome. My name is Kayla, here with KnowWherePodcast. Today is actually our first live recording, as well as our first guest on the show. So this is really, really exciting today. And with Nowhere, we have no destination, but we know where we're going. Letting our heart guide us, and our hearts have guided us today to Dennis. So before we get started, though, every episode I'd like to introduce our angels. So I have my right hand. This is Sarah. She's God's joint roller. This is my lover, Nick. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. And this is my cat, Zan. Oh, let's get her in the picture over here. There she is. That's my cat, Zan. And so before we get every episode started, I just like to take our candle, and we light our candle for our past loved ones. Whatever form they've taken. Just reminding them that we're still here, and knowing they're not that far away. We'll just take a second and a moment of silence and gratitude. Cool. The silence speaks so loud if you let it. Anyway, so today we have a very special guest, you guys. I am really, really excited, especially because a lot of you love comics. And I think that you're going to find Dennis as interesting and awesome as I definitely have. So go ahead. I was going to say, this is Dennis. Dennis, if you want to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Hi, my name is Dennis Knight. I'm a writer. I specialize in comic books. I'm also editor and creative consultant. I'm based in New York City, and I write stuff.
Yeah, awesome. I was going to say, so, of course, as we talked before, so what was your first experience with comics?
Growing up as a kid, I hung out with my older cousin Mike a lot, and we just hung out and read comic books all day long. We read a lot of Spider-Man, a lot of Punisher, a lot of X-Men comic books. X-Men is probably my favorite book. So I'm a big fan of X-Men. So all the movies, all those cartoons, I watched them all. I'm a big fan.
Ooh, I was like, okay, that's awesome. And then so then you just, when you got into comics, you were just like a kid who was kind of just drawing?
Yeah, it was a hobby. It was a hobby, just like anything else. I did draw a little bit as a kid. I love to run to the drugstore or the store and buy whatever comics. Whatever little money I had, I would run to the store, buy comic books. Take my friends, we go hang out and go to the store. Because back then, there weren't comic book shops. Just get them, go to the pharmacy. You go to the corner store where they have the spinning rack. You buy the comic books on there. So that's what I did growing up as a kid.
You said the spinning rack, and
I'm an old man. I'm old.
I saw you in there
yeah, I'm old, man. Been doing this for a long, long time.
What one is this? Okay, so excuse me. So after that, you're reading comic books with Michael. You're, going down to the corner shop, pharmacy, grabbing all your stuff. You decide hey, this is just, something that I love. So how or when did you get into creating comics?
It was just a really bad idea. I was in my 20s and I had this idea for a story. And I was saying with my frat brother, we had dinner when I was telling him about this idea that I had. He goes, dude, we should make a comic book. I'm like, yeah. No idea how to make a comic book, what was involved. So I just had to how to literally teach myself. I was buying books. I was going on the internet, looking up chat rooms, how-to things, how to make comic books. And I was doing all these groups, and I basically taught myself to write the proper script format, and I just started writing. This is my favorite type of notebook to write on. Actually, I'm working on an article right now. This is the Mead 5-star notebooks. I have these all over my apartment. I just I write and I write and I write, and I make notes to myself, and I fix them up, I rearrange, I change it, and that's basically what I write on. So I had this Mead 5-star notebook full of ideas for the story that I had. I had like
Oh,
pieces of dialogue and characters and how they're going to look and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I didn't know what to do with it. So I reached out to a friend of mine. Her name is Jules, and she was a fine arts major in college, and we went to college together. So I went to her house, having dinner, and telling her about this idea that I have. And I was like, I want you to like draw this for me. She's like, I'm fine art. I don't really do like a comic book kind of style, but I can help you meet people. We can kind of like put a team together. Like, I mean, we can do it.
yeah.
So this poor woman, I dragged her all over. Like we were like go interviewing like people in coffee shops and like just like all over the place, just trying to find somebody to do this thing. And she stuck with me through thick and thin. Like, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am today. That's like the truth. Like, I love her to death. Like, she lives out in Texas with her husband. I went out to visit them a couple of weeks ago, and we had like the best time ever. Like, she's taking me all around. She's like showing me up to her friends. Like, her neighbor's daughter was into comic books, so I brought some comic books that I made for her daughter. She like flipped out. She's going nuts. She's loving it. It's great. And like, she's like one of my dearest, closest friends. I love her so much. And actually, we met a guy. His name was Kirk Verzanis, and he was still in art school at the time. And this was the story Quest I was telling you about. Actually, I can show you guys that yellow issue was the first issue of Quest that I wrote, and Kirk drew it. So, still, mind you, I'm like dumping money into this thing like nobody's business. Like you would think I was rich, all the money I was like putting into this between like paying people like for designs and paying people for this, paying people for that. And then the thing is not working out the way I wanted them to. And then I met with Kirk, and Kirk, he loved the story. He was like, dude, I want to draw this. So we agreed on the price, page rate, and Kirk went to work right away. Like, I'm talking like within like a week, I had like a couple of pages like already done.
wow.
Like no, this guy, he was a savage, man. Like, I've never met anybody like him. Like, the way he draws, it was like insane. Like, first he would like send me a thumbnails. Okay, this is what I'm thinking of like for the first page. Like a thumbnail is basically like a small little square of like what the panel is going to look like. So just like little stick figures, just like to give you a perspective, like no camera angle, camera range, stuff like that. So he was sending me one of those. I'm like, cool. After that, boom. A couple of days later, I would have like a finished page, because he would do the drawing, pencil, inks, and he would letter it too. So to find somebody to do all those components in one person is very, very rare. And he was first taking us, so I figured like this was his chance like to shine, I guess, like to show that what he's made of. And we got published, and I would say we started 2000. I started the process in 2006, and we got published in like 2012. I met Kirk probably like around 2010, 2011. So
Oh, okay.
all those, I wrote like 4 scripts, and he's drawing, and I'm drawing, and we're like submitting as we're drawing. And I submitted to Image, I submitted to like all like the like independent publishers. I submitted to all of them. I'm sending out packages like a week. Me going to the post office, just like sending out packages and just like either not hearing anything or hearing like a no or like no thank you or whatever. So finally, I come across Pronto Comics. They're an independent page publisher based in New York City. And Kirk was like, "Hey man, this is Pronto. They're like an independent comic publisher, and they'll put us out. Our stuff is good. We should submit to them." So we put a package together. We sent to Pronto, and probably within like a couple of months, we got up. We heard back from the editor in chief. He's like, "Bro, we love your stuff. We want to put you out." So I'm like over the moon. I couldn't believe like somebody actually wanted to publish my stuff. I was euphoric. I was like, what? What do you mean? So then actually it was Pronto, as I think it was Blue Water Press was another publisher that was interested in me. So I had 2 contracts and didn't know what to do. I'm kind of looking at with them like I would look at a contract before in my life. So I'm like, what? Like, what is this? So then I went to a good friend of mine. She looked over the contracts and she said, okay, Pronto, that's the one you should go with. So I decided to go with them. And by the time Pronto signed us, we already had like 4 issues already completed. So
Wow.
we were ready to go like immediately. So like actually my first debut was New York Comic Con 2012. And Collectors Kingdom was a retailer who had a booth at New York Comic Con, and they sold my comic book out of their booth. So
Okay.
Dominic was the editor in chief of Pronto Comics, so I'm emailing with him. We're emailing back and forth. Okay, when I said, hey, was it going to come out? Oh, New York Comic Con. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? What do you mean New York Comic Con? This is the biggest convention in the world. I'm like, this is my first comic. I don't think I'm ready for something like that. He said, oh no, it's already done. Like the book is already there. So
You're
mind you,
like, what?
I'm
Oh
still
my
working a day job at the time, so I have to figure out how to get off from work because I've never been to Comic Con. I went to Comic Con once, like
God.
years ago, with a friend of mine, and it was cool. But like now I'm going as a professional, so it's like a totally different ballpark.
Yeah.
So I went to my job. I talked to my boss. I said, listen, I got this thing. I need days off. He goes, yeah, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. So I got off. I get all the information. The booth is like on booth 2000, whatever. So I walk, and mind you, I've never seen my book ever. like in print. There's always been like emails and scanning screens and stuff like that. So I'm walking up and I see my book like on the shelf for the first time ever in my life. So I'm just standing there staring at it, and this guy is like, "Can I help you?" Nope, you can't help me. So the guy walks away. I'm still staring at it because I'm in awe. Like I've never seen like my comic book in print before. So he comes back and says, like, "Dude, can I help you?" No, you can't help me. You see that comic book? I made that. He goes, "No shit, yes shit, I made that." So then after that, his name was Mike. God bless him. And then after that, he like started introducing me to people. Oh, this is Dennis. It's like, this is his first comic book. You should check it out. So I sold out my first comic book at New York Comic Con ever. Like all the issues that I had were gone. Like within the weekend, it was like the biggest thing in the world.
Oh my god!
So that was my first experience as a comic professional.
Wow, I couldn't even imagine just
I was
walking
nervous.
around.
I was a nervous wreck. I wanted to throw up. I was so nervous because there's so many people, so many lights. We were walking around. I'm just like, hi. Like I was like a kid. It was like the first day of school. I was a little kid at the first day of school. I was like, I didn't know what to do. It was like people just like kind of like rumbling past me. Just it was an experience for sure. But I've grown since then, so I'm very happy for that.
I am so happy that we get to do the second episode so I could hear that story.
Yeah, no, for sure. I should have started with that one the first time.
Oh my god! You know what? It's all in divine alignment.
Yeah.
It's exactly when we were supposed to know. You know what I'm saying? And so, oh my gosh, I'm just so ecstatic that you had shared that. That's just such a great story.
And since then, I was on the executive board for Pronto Comics for a while. I made a lot of day-to-day decisions. I did the green light for a lot of books. I put a lot of teams together. I've done interviews. I've done panels with Buddy Scalera. He worked for Marvel Comics back in the day and Wizard magazine. He's like a comic book legend. Like he had Punisher and a couple of Deadpool comic books actually, and he's a good friend of mine. And he has this organization where he actually helps people like get into comic books. So he has like a website. It's called comicbookschool.com. He has resources, job postings. Actually, he has like if you want to learn how to make comic books, that's the guy to go to. He's a very good friend of mine. He's very knowledgeable about their business. So, yeah, check him out if you're into it.
I was gonna say, my daughter, she, some people don't agree with my parenting style. I'm an unconventional parent, but that's cool. That's why she picked me as her mom. And I showed her Five Nights at Freddy's. She's 6 years old. I showed her when she was 5. I did not know the real backstory, and we kind of watched this together and got into it together. It was kind of like really dark, but yeah. I teach in our home that movies and like books and stuff like that, those are art. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
and it's a form of expression, and it's also entertainment. So because of that, she has been able to separate herself from something being scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, like. So before, she's always been into coloring. That's why I never cared if she watched TV, because she would just sit there and she would color the whole time. So like, of course you can have the TV. You know what I mean? Like whatever, yeah, for sure. You're the whole. You know what I mean? It wasn't until having her that I realized that coloring books are so special, because once they're completed, you literally have a whole book.
Yeah.
You have a whole book. I never completed a coloring book ever. Never. I was like, okay, so I was a 90s baby, so like we just we were just outside all the time. Like my parents were like, go outside, figure it out, like, you know what I mean, like that was it. And so it was just like never really, I don't remember them ever really doing art with me or anything like that. But anyway, so the reason why I was saying about 5 Nights at Freddy's is because ever since I showed her that, she has now she has the mind of an artist. She sees these characters and she's drawing, but she's drawing the shapes of what she sees. So she's like, look, Mom, here, like, so she's like breaking down where his knees are. She's breaking down like where animatronics are and all this. And like, yes, you can clearly tell it was drawn by a 6-year-old. Right. But
she has the concept of like the composition of it and everything. Yeah, it's very important.
And so now I feel like, because she likes comics and stuff like that too, you know what I mean? And like, so now that you just said that about him, I'm going to have to check that out for her, because
for sure.
I was going to say, I mean, I don't know like how old, I know you said jobs and stuff like that, but maybe there's like some tutorial stuff, and because
there's tons of stuff. He has a YouTube channel also where he interviews people and like they talk about the business and like how to write a script, like how to like do character development. Like it's a different topic every time. I think it comes on Tuesdays if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm gonna have to check that. Well, and that's cool too. Like for you, I mean, you said like you grew up watching Punisher and all this, and then like you get to
Yeah.
meet the
It's so
person.
weird. I've met dudes who actually drawn these comics I have in my house, and like we've done panels together. Like we met each other, and it's like, oh my god, like I have you in my apartment. Like it's crazy, and like they're the nicest people. Nicest people, very down to earth. They're very humble. I mean, I've met a lot of cool guys. A lot of guys who veterans in the industry. Like they actually teach classes now. They go on tour. They do all this stuff, and we're friends. It's like it's the craziest thing. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I'm like I couldn't like you know you. And the cool thing about every single one of you is that you all had a vision that, like you said in the beginning, you're like, it was just this bad idea. And then all of a sudden, like, it turns into your first
Yeah,
weekend selling out
yeah.
at one of
It's
the
surreal. It's a
biggest.
real feeling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, And so, being able to, so all of you kind of have like this deep understanding that like there is so much more out here, you know what I mean? And we had the ability to bring those things to life, like, and I see that in you, and I know that
It's
you
a
see that.
privilege. It really is because it's
And
just like how many people get to like come up with ideas and actually make something out of it, and then like share it with the world, and people actually like it. It's just like it's unheard of almost, you know?
yes, that's what I mean. Like you were the textbook. Oh my god, gonna like you said, you're like, I gotta fight for my job, I gotta do all this, and it's like you're just like all the people in the comics, dude. You were the dude who was just working his normal job, right?
Yeah,
And then you can meet your fucking heroes. Like
yeah.
that is
It's the best feeling in the world, honestly. Just like it's like meeting like your hero, and like they're like standing in front of you, like you don't know what to say, like you're nervous. I remember I met Andy Schmidt. Andy Schmidt is a really big deal because he used to work for Marvel. He had like this whole seminar, like the comic book experience, and he wrote like how-to books. I like bought all of his books and I read them cover to cover. So I remember this was back in 2019. I was at a table at New York Comic Con and came by my table looking for Dominic Sperano, which is the editor in chief of Rapunzel Comics. And I said, "Oh my God, you're Andy Schmidt." He goes, "Yep." He goes, "Oh my God, I love you. I have all of your books." And we had like a moment. He just like I was freaking out. He was fine. I was freaking out. And then I shook his hand and said, "Oh my God, like couldn't believe it." And actually, we were actually friends now on Facebook. Like it's really cool. Like he's a really nice guy. But it's like little moments like that happens to me all the time. Like I feel so fortunate to be able to be like in mixed company with people that I look up to. You know?
yeah. Yes, absolutely. And like you deserve that. Like you again, there's just something because like we had talked before. Like I
Yeah,
said, for me, not really into a lot of comics. I mean, yes, they were around things like that, but like um the people who I knew, like I said, like when Stan Lee died, it
yeah,
really broke their heart. Like
yeah,
broke. Because like especially my ex-husband, especially, he always like he cried so hard, and he was like, for someone like me, because he didn't have his dad, and his mom was, always super resentful about his dad and all this, and like made him just feel a certain type of way. And like his escape and like finding peace was
yeah.
through those
I
comics,
mean, that was basically that's the whole purpose of comic books. It's like escapism. It's just like you can like read a story like to take you away from what you're going through. It's like you immerse yourself in fantasy. It's like you have people who fly, people who do the right thing, people who like find the bad guys and make them pay. It's just like this, like what everybody wants, you know. So it's like even me as a kid, whenever I had a bad day, what I would do is I would like go to my room, read comic books, listen to music, kind of like tune everything out, and just like give me a minute to kind of like breathe and like recenter myself. You know, it's just I think everybody needs that once in a while.
I challenge everyone. That's what I'm gonna do. I am going to go and buy a comic, and I'm gonna buy one from my daughter too, and we're just gonna put on some music, and we're just gonna sit and listen after
Yeah.
school. Like maybe, like for real, I think that would do. Oh my god, just everyone some good. Just put on some like good lo-fi
And
like
just
station.
relax, yeah. And, like the really good story and like tune out, just relax. You know, like give yourself a minute because you had a hard day. You're running around all day long. Just give yourself like 5 minutes. Take a breath, listen to some tunes, and just chill out.
And it's funny because I usually say that with yoga, just
Yeah,
5 minutes. Just give
yeah,
yourself 5 minutes, right? Like
yeah,
I
for
live
sure.
by because Sarah Beth Yoga, that's what she taught. she teaches that you can still have a successful practice or, you know what I mean, day
Sure.
if you only just do 5 minutes. And like a lot of people don't know, they think that meditation is shutting your brain off. But like I can name like three different you have a walking meditation.
Sure.
You have a dancing meditation. You have singing meditation. Right there, you have reading meditation. It's just about bringing awareness
Sure.
to whatever you're doing and being present with it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so I feel like how you just presented that to me is how I would present yoga to someone. Oh, snap. And and it would make me feel like in that heart falling like that just made me feel like it's something I could fall in love with again.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know?
It's art,
Um,
and art is beautiful. So it's just like it's this form of expression, like helps people get through their day. Like there's no life without art.
oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine. Like I know you can't see in my house right now,
Yeah,
but lined all around my entire kitchen, on my ceiling, I started in my entire house is all of my children's and I's art, and like I let my kids color on the wall. And that's how they learn boundaries is because there's certain parts of the walls that they can't color on, like the walls that are white you can't color on. That's it. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Pretty
yeah,
fair. And they learned at a very young age, I would say like 2, 3 years old, like, okay, I can't write on that one. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But I can write on this one and this one and this one. But like our number one house rule, Dennis, is don't stop a jam. So if
Okay,
any of the or anyone is playing an instrument and they're channeling and they're in a creative fucking jam, like you are not allowed to stop them. I don't care. I'm not kidding. I don't care if it's bedtime and my kid starts to play. I am not going to stop them from playing. I am going to sit there for the entire fucking symphony and we're going to jam and I'm going to dance it out with them. They're going to dance too. And it's because I feel like every time that you have that, what if you had something that nourished and supported it?
sure.
What would happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like, no, I'm not gonna stop you from coloring something on the wall. I'm just gonna like nourish. Oh my god, who is calling me? Oh, there we go. No clue who this is, but we're just gonna block it. Something about a window painting. But and thank you for everyone that's here right now. Appreciate you. But yeah, I just feel like in that sense, just trying to give a different way that I, was never really presented with. But now
yeah,
that you said that about your friend, to wrap that around, I definitely am gonna have to, go into that too. But
yeah.
I'm happy that you were able to find something for yourself to be able to just relax you
Yeah, for sure. It's very important.
and then I wanted to ask now because I think this is so freaking awesome and I think everyone else would be really interested in this about this too. You had told about the Krampus, is that right? Sorry.
Yeah. Merry Krampus. That's the name of it.
Yes. Okay, you want to share a little bit about that with us?
Sure. Actually, I work with KBC International, and they're putting together a like horror anthology, but the horror stories are based on American holidays. So it'll be a horror story about Christmas. That's the story I'm working on, and also there's going to be Thanksgiving, Halloween, and I think Fourth of July is another holiday. And basically, we're putting together a collaborative of artists and writers to like come up with a story, a horror story that's going to be rooted in like the American holidays. So I was talking to Kevin Davis a couple of months ago and I said, I would really love to do like a Krampus story. He said, yeah, do it. So basically, I'm working on a story that's the origin of Krampus and Santa Claus and how they have this relationship and how the souls of children like fuel the North Pole and fuel like the Krampus's lair and like how Krampus goes about collecting these souls. And that's a couple other things because Mary Claus, who is Santa Claus's wife, Krampus is in love with her. So there's this also jealousy factor of like how Chris got the wife and he didn't, and like this whole struggle going on. So it's a lot of layers to the story. So it's going to try to touch on everything. I try to touch on jealousy. Try to touch on love. I try to touch on sense of purpose. Like you have this job and you refuse not to do it, and then there are consequences because you don't do this job. So there's a couple of things that I'm working with.
Oh my gosh! See the intention? That's what I'm saying. You're like out here, like, all right, let's get the fine details and fine blendings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And that's so synchronistic because a girlfriend of mine and I were just talking about something earlier today. And I mean, clearly, conspiracy theories or theorists is what they would
Hmm.
call us when we were talking about any of those things. But it was kind of along the lines of like what you were talking about fueling, him, and kind of in the same thing. So, like, that's scary though. I mean, like for horror, like, heck yeah, I think you
Yeah,
guys hit it.
because I'm actually this is my first horror story, so I'm kind of nervous, but also I'm very excited to try something different, a different concept. So hopefully everything plays out and people enjoy it. So we'll find out when I write it. So we'll see.
So the artist that you have for this
That's
is
Federica Nani. She's based in
okay. That's
Italy, and she's a very good friend of mine. She actually, well, she's like my go-to artist. Like, if I have a project and I can work with her, like I jump at the chance because she's just that good. She's amazing, actually.
Oh, I can't wait. Have you worked with her before? Or this is the first time.
Um, actually, I'm working on another story. It's called Blood and Bones. That's my IP. Like, I own the rights to that story, and it's a vampire werewolf story. Where in this story, they actually have to work together to like stay alive. And she's okay. So the gist of this story is vampires, werewolves. All the stories always hate each other, always like fighting each other. So in my story, they have to come together to like fight extinction. So then one vampire, he actually wants to go back in time to put things back to the way they used to be. So he actually puts a team together of people with special abilities and travel. They travel in time to like stop certain events in history to keep the vampires and werewolves from taking over the world. So that's coming out hopefully 2026, 2027. Because I'm writing the script and Frederica's drawing it right now. So
Oh my god. Okay,
yeah,
that sounds it's crazy too because I feel like a lot of these stories are kind of like real life things that are like really happening where I feel like, again with my conspiracy theorists that people are really gonna have to come together so we
yeah.
don't so we don't go extinct, like straight up.
It's trying times right now. Like, you see things happening that shouldn't be happening right now, but here we are. You watch turn on the news every day. It's always something that shouldn't be happening, and it is.
And I think the only reason why, and if you can see from the I am a neutral, like obviously there is shit that is really, really, everything is really, really fucked up. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that, but what I am saying here is that the illusion of life and reality as we know it, the matrix, like
yeah.
I say, May and then tricks, Tricks.
Mhm.
The tricks, made us believe that, but like I think that this is the only way for people to awaken that the matrix is real,
Yeah,
because if they were just told right out front like, oh hey, there's reptilians that live under the earth, we've been cloning since this time, and both parties are in cahoots, a lot of people would probably, be like off bridges and
sure.
stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, for sure.
it would be way too freaking intense. So maybe, and I only say this because I feel like I have the ability to jump out without losing and going into psychotic breaks.
Yeah,
But I feel like there's yeah, like this disruption is happening so that people don't freak out as much, even though they're totally going to freak out, but so that they can awaken that everything is just fake.
sure.
But with that being said, though, it is also real, which is like, okay, the only existence, right? The life and death thing. But then that goes back to like just what you said, where we're just going to have to all work together, doesn't matter what side. It's just we're gonna have to find the union to break from whatever this is.
Yeah,
And I also think that reading comics again allows us to tap into some of those powers that maybe we've been brainwashed into thinking that we don't have anymore.
hmm sure.
I know I just went off on my conspiracy tangent. Do y'all think I'm crazy now?
I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there agree with you, so I don't think you're crazy.
I knew you'd understand, Dennis. I fucking knew. I knew. And I'm grateful for that, for real. And yes, I asked you last time and I have to ask you now too. What is what is the advice for a person who is coming out there just like you, who, like you said, you took this idea and you just, you know, you put in and you put in all the work and you just, so what would you say to them?
Don't give up. I mean, it's easy to say because I've been doing it for a while, but just like I know when you first start out, it sucks. You don't know anybody, you're not quite sure what to do, you don't know what path to take, and it's hard. And it's just like, especially when you do like independent comic books, it's expensive because you have to pay people, you have to pay for printing, you have to pay for distribution, you have all these things, all these factors, and things you normally wouldn't have to pay for, and now you do. So it's like, how do you spend your money? Do you spend your money on an artist, or do you try to do it yourself to save money? Do you buy art supplies, or do you try to find someone that has their own supplies? There's so many ways to go about it. It can be very confusing and very frustrating. But the best advice I can give you is seek out people who have been doing it longer than you, who have advice and experience, and just like kind of learn from them. If you can get onto a project, like even as an intern, or even as unpaid or whatever you have to do to get your foot in the door, do it. Because hands-on experience is priceless. Once you get that hands-on experience, nobody can tell you anything. You can literally do what you want.
I'm like, ooh, I feel like I just felt a bunch of people's like little lights up for their dreams, you know? Because like I told you before, I didn't even know what I wanted to do until I was 26.
Right.
And I still have this wild vision. Tried going to the patent office, got denied multiple times, got
Right,
denied.
yeah, it's not easy.
No, it is not.
Very complicated. It's a process that people don't even realize what you have to go through. For patents and trademarks and copyrights, it's a lot, man. It's grueling, to be honest with you.
I was fucking mind blown. I was like, why is this so hard for me? First of all, they denied me because they said that. So I have this yoga mat idea, and basically the mat is a vessel that can create a safe space to practice yoga on. Okay. And I say that very vaguely because I still don't want to give away the idea because I really want to make it. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of moving parts also. Like you have to figure out your materials, your composition, all that stuff. And then you have to kind of submit, okay, I did it A, B, C, and then you have to submit it to the office. They have to like approve it, not approve it. Then you have to like revamp it. It's a lot.
Yes, because I didn't even make it out of they were like, your drawings aren't good enough. And, you know, and part of me, and so then I like went back, did some better drawings, you know, sent in what I thought was amazing work, if you ask me. Yeah, but if you ask that, they're like, rejected.
Yeah, then some guy in the office like, nope, not good enough. Just kind of throws it over his shoulder, and like you kind of feel crushed. It's like, you work so hard. It's like, what do you mean it's not good enough? It's a very frustrating process. Yeah.
And then like. So then I did it again, and after the third time, because you have to wait like a couple, I think it's like 6 to 8 weeks before they respond. Right. So that right there, you know, and then coming back and editing it and then sending it back out, which I know that you know all about this, yeah, but sure. It was like, all right, like, yeah, I felt like, okay, I'm not supposed to be making my yoga mats, I guess. So I just taught yoga, you know, was a mom, just did that thing, and then now, like, out of nowhere, God was like, hey, you wanted to make this podcast a long time ago, because like I tried to get my online yoga career to take off. Yeah. Just it was organically just really slow, and I just wasn't that patient. And I now know the reason why I wasn't that patient was because this podcast can wrap up everything in this. I can teach my yoga for one of the episodes. You know what I mean? I can teach my meditation for one of the episodes. I can teach my painting therapy yoga. Like I can do all these things, and like I can do the thing that I love, which is connecting with people and find people, like you and I, two complete and total strangers who just happen to align. And I have had such a soul nourishing conversation with you, and we've just been on the last hour or 2 hours, something, you know. And but it brought that together, like you sharing that story about seeing your book for the first time. You know what I mean? Yeah. What did it just say? Oh my gosh, what do I have? Your live is not eligible and restricted. Misinformation that may cause moderate harm.
What?
Okay, I just got flagged on the internet now.
That's crazy.
Hopefully,
Like, what are
hopefully
we
they don't
talking
kill
about?
me.
I don't understand.
Hopefully they don't kill me, because you know what I was talking about. You know what I was talking about. I was spitting
Oh,
the
the
truth.
conspiracy theory stuff. That's
Yeah,
crazy. So somebody's out
yeah.
there, they're listening.
That,
That's nuts.
apparently they think I got something to say.
Wow.
I didn't know. I didn't know I was someone.
Now look at that.
But can I tell you though that the entire time when I was sharing, my guides were like, "You're not supposed to be sharing this right now.
Mm.
You're not supposed to be sharing this right now." And they did that to me with my last podcast episode. I had
Really?
just gotten recording it. That's why I don't know if you got to watch the second episode or not, but I was like, this might be the second episode, maybe. I don't know yet or not. Because the whole time I was recording and sharing about my day-to-day experiences, because I feel like there's a lot more of us out there that share these similar experiences, but we are like kind of shunned and pushed away a little, you know?
Yeah.
And because it's not normal life, and some of these experiences would be considered, you know. So, when I did and made the episode, finished the whole thing, got about 38 minutes in or something like that, 35 maybe. I can't remember. Almost 30 minutes in. And it was like, yep. My ears were on fire. I could feel them. When I was a kid, I used to get my ears pulled. And my grandfather, I could feel him like, you are not allowed to share that.
Mm.
You are not allowed to share that. So,
Wow.
my guides, that's why like it's super important for me that we go ahead and we light these candles and stuff like that, because my guides are just so, I'm so blessed for the ancestors that I do have watching and clearing. See, look at even when I was just saying that the flames are starting to flicker right now, it's because they
Mm.
know, and I know too. And they're like, shut the fuck up.
Mm.
That's just what I think. But anyways, so with that being said, Dennis, I don't know I think we're at like our 30 minutes now. I don't even know what time it is. But I have to go get a snack because I'm so hungry after all
You
this.
should, definitely.
But I want to say thank you so much thank you for everything. Thank you for sharing your
My pleasure. No problem at all.
Yeah, thank you for coming back to record the second episode, even though we, you know, still had a great first episode. But I will have to say, I am so happy that this happened just to hear that story.